What up, y'all, and welcome back to Papyrus Motorsports Park for the 17th race in the 2023 NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series. Logan York on pole for the second time this season. It's his fourth career pole, making him just the 19th different driver in series history to reach a mark on his career. So fourth career pole for Logan York, and we just saw Logan get career win number 1 a couple of races ago in New Zealand, and now on another pole, another road course rather, he has won the pole. So we'll have to see what York can do here. I think that other pole came at New Zealand as well, so maybe he'll go 2 for 2. But this track a lot more draft reliant, so gonna need to put some work in for sure here, and not just rely on chaos to get it done. But he dominated that race in New Zealand. Anyway, to his right is Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Row 2 is Jonathan Zoerlein, who's got a victory here. Came 2 years ago. More on that later. Priya McShane qualified 4th. This 41 won the truck race with Archibald Buttersworth yesterday. Now we'll see if it can win the cup race today. Different driver behind the wheel. Kev Shear, Richard Johnson, row 3. Samet Ozkan, your points leader in row 4 with Ace Rogers. And then Corey Riggs, Stephen Waters round out the top 10. And they were both in the truck race yesterday afternoon. This is the 7th race in series history here. Previous winners include Zach Rogers in 2017, John Nunn in 2018. Both of those wins for Bulldog Motorsports and Dodge. Cole Deaver began the Chevy reign back in 2019. Seth Cole getting the win in 2020. Zoerlein in 2021. And then Zach Flickinger got the win for Ford here last season. And that was the first win for Flickinger in a good bit. We've been on a good trend of new winners, or winners that haven't won in a while here in the second half of the year. We saw Ferranti get his first career win at Talladega. Rob Evans got his first win of the year in at Dubai, which was only Evans' 4th win of his career. We saw Fitzwater win at Italy, which was currently his first and only win of the season. Logan York got career win number 1. Trey Smith got career win number 1. And now Colt Hudson got career win number 1 at Martinsville recently. Can we go 4 races in a row with a first-time winner? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Slim odds, I'd say, for that to continue today. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. As Logan York will lead him to the green flag. Zoerlein comes into this thing just 4 points behind Ozkan in the championship. Nate Rogers, 46 points back. And then a couple of drivers, 72 to 94 points back, make up the rest of the top 10. We'll get more into that later because green flag is out and we're underway in Massachusetts. So as I said yesterday, draft is going to be important here today, but not as much as it was in Jerky Pro. You're going to want draft to keep up and to make the moves you need to make to maybe win this thing. But as you can see, the Cup cars a lot faster. They don't punch as much of a hole in the air as the trucks do. But tire wear will be important as well. So it's a 43-lap event today. So that's up another 11 laps from yesterday's race. So, I mean, the fuel window is about the same here in the Cup car as it is in the truck. 9 to 11 laps. So if you can make it 11 laps on gas here on every stint, I mean, you can likely make this thing on a 3-stop. Coming to complete lap 1, you can see that the draft strength is not as huge through turn 6 as it is in the truck series. York will lead the first lap of the race. Zoerlein second, as now Fitzwater makes a move on Kev Shear for third. 210 miles an hour almost into turn 1 here in the Cup car. Richard Johnson, Ace Rogers, Priya McShane, Stephen Waters, Ozkan, Riggs, the top 10. See DeLello in the Cup race here this afternoon. Same with Enzo Nereza, both qualifying their way in. See, there's the 9 of Nate Rogers, just outside of the top 15. There's last year's winner, Zach Flickinger, now drives a Chevy. Charles Sanford, Chris Harvey making the show today. Colin Crobley making the show. Same with Roy Rippleton and Christian Vargas. Logan Williams, Derek Hamill as well. So you see Andrew Rich at the back of the field. Rob Evans at the back of the field. Jesse Turner, the one time we see him run this Nesson fuel car. And Zach Carrington made the show this afternoon. So on lap 3, see Fitzwater all over Zoerlein. Now Fitzwater is top 10 in the points. Comes into this thing 8th in the point standings. He is 89 back of Samet Ozkan. Other drivers make note of 4th in the points, Dylan Young, 72 back. Evans, 75 back. Kev Shear, 77 back. Ace Rogers, 83 back. Rich, 91 back. Seth Cole, 94 back. And then Charles Sanford, 96 back. Turner, Ferranti, Keith Rich, 107, 108, and 111 points, respectively. Cup has Homestead next before they head to Pensacola and then Atlanta. So the number to be at to potentially get the championship on a tiebreaker would be 177 points. So still a lot of drivers in the fight for this. We're not going to really be talking about who's eliminated until after Homestead. That'll mark 2 races to go. As Fitzwater going to put a move on Logan York for the race lead, and he is going to take it here 3 laps into the going. So far, those that started at the front have been staying at the front. I haven't really seen anyone fall back through the field just yet. But several drivers not having a good going here in the early laps. We've entered the fuel window as coming to lap 9. Enzo Nereza pits on lap number 8. So looking like probably maybe a definite 4-stopper here. Now the undercut can work very well here in the Cup car if you've got a little bit of draft to work with. Compared to the truck where typically the overcut is the way to go, especially if you have draft. So you see race leader Logan York about 2.5 seconds off from his best lap of the race. Fitzwater, Kev Shear, Richard Johnson, Priya McShane are the top 5. Zoerlein, Ace Rogers, Riggs, Waters, DeLello the top 10. So we'll see here lap 9 coming to 10. How many will pit? Looks like Fitzwater will be the first one, and he's going to bring in Richard Johnson, McShane, Zoerlein, and more. This is where you really got to watch out on the braking. You don't want to get damage. So you see a ton of drivers coming into pit road, heavy on the brakes. And the Cup car is accordion even more than the trucks due to the increased speed. So almost the entire field here came to pit lap 9 to 10. So that tells me it is likely going to be a 4-stopper. And the strategy is going to be huge. So, I mean, great call by Nereza. I think he was running just outside of the top 10 anyway, but great call to pit on his own. We'll have to see how much time he makes up. But Logan York stayed out here on lap number 10, joined by Kev Shear, Ace Rogers, Zach Flickinger, Trey Smith, Lane Sanders, Roy Rippleton, Laura Chung, Logan Williams, Christian Vargas, Jesse Turner. All elected to stay out here on the lap 10. Now the question is, will any of them stay out to 11? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna just say no right now. I'm not expecting anyone to do so. So these top 3 were clearly top 10 cars. See, Zach Flickinger, Trey Smith, and Lane Sanders should gain a good amount of time here with some gap to them. No cars in front of them going in the pit road. Same for Jesse Turner. Turner, though, with the very first pit stall. We've seen this pit stall win races before. Not sure if that will be the case here this afternoon, but hey, nothing's impossible. And we'll see how the field cycles out here as these drivers come off the pit lane. Fitzwater is your race leader with Richard Johnson in second place. Got a 1.5 second gap back to Logan York and Kev Shearer. Corey Riggs, Jonathan Zoerlein, Enzo Nareza, Ace Rogers, Priya McShane, Zach Flickinger, the top 10. So the undercut working out well for Nareza. Charles Sanford just outside of the top 10. RJ Bishop, Lello, Nate Rogers, Jessica Shelton. Trey Smith just inside the top 20. Seth Cole not having the greatest day. He's just outside the top 20. Samet Ozkan has fallen outside of the top 20. This is not good for him in the championship at all, with Zoerlein inside the top 10. Dylan Young as well in 29th. Not good for him right now. See, Turner gained a little bit of position. He is up to 35th. And did not lose as much time as some of the other drivers who pit at the very rear of the field, such as Rob Evans and Andrew Rich. See, Stephen Waters had a terrible stop. He fell to 40th. Lucas Catano, Zach Carrington round out the running order as Richard Johnson's in the lead. We saw Richard having pretty good run at some tracks earlier in the season. Could today be the day he finally gets career win number 1? Richard, this is his first full-time season, but not considered a rookie due to previous attempts in the All-Star race as a one-off entry. So Richard looking for that first win here in the Digital Storm Cup Series, but Logan York looks fast this afternoon, and he could be looking for what would be his second win of the season. Going to backtrack a little bit here. Problem for Jesse Turner. Flat tire on the 17. And this is going to ruin Turner's race. He's going to come down here and park it right at the exit of pit road, and they'll tow him back and get 4 fresh tires on this thing and get him back out there. Nareza making his second pit stop of the day with William Brock coming down with. See Lucas Catano down as well. Race lead has been all Logan York. Kev Shearer right there behind him in second place. Fitzwater now third. Riggs fourth. Zoerlein fifth as Johnson falls to 6th. That is the main pack behind Nate Rogers, Zach Flickinger side by side for 7th. RJ Bishop, Priya McShane side by side for 9th with Ace Rogers and Shelton right there. Same with Trey Smith. So far, no accidents. Been a pretty tame race for everyone. My throat's a little itchy, making it a little difficult to talk. As Fitzwater will bring down Riggs, Zoerlein, and Richard Johnson. McShane, RJ Bishop, Charles Sanford, Seth Cole to name a few coming down. Ozkan with a late move to pit road. Watching to see if anyone's going to get damage. Evan's going to turn left to avoid running over Derek Hamill. But pretty much everyone coming in here on lap number 18 to 19. Kev Shearer going to take the lead away from Logan York, as we'll expect these drivers to come in next. Kev Shearer is going to stay out, but Logan York will bring it down pit road. Nate Rogers, Zach Flickinger, Trey Smith, Logan Williams down. Roy Ribbleton will stay out. There's a lot of different strategy going on this afternoon. Fitzwater currently provisional leader out of those who have pit with Zoerlein, Corey Riggs, RJ Bishop right behind Brock and Nareza, who did the undercut right here with him. See Priya McShane still in the going, trying to make it a number 41 sweep on the weekend. As Lucas Catano, doesn't really look like the 39 gained anything. He is way back here. see the next slew of drivers come off of pit road here. Where will Logan York sort out on all of this? Ooh, getting dicey here through turn 2. York should fall in line here with the lead pack. Kev Shearer will pit here coming to 21. Ribbleton will come down with him. And once again, we'll see what the field looks like after the cycle is completed. Fitzwater is your race leader still. Zoerlein putting a move on the Reza for second place. William Brock in 4th. RJ Bishop in 5th. Corey Riggs, Logan York, Nate Rogers, Zach Flickinger, Priya McShane are the current top 10. So Nate Rogers doing what he needs to do to maintain some kind of gap to Zoerlein, even though currently he would be losing points. Same with Charles Sanford, who is sadly outside of the top 10, so not doing a good job at maintaining a gap here. All the points are in the top 5. See Dylan Young, top 20. Kev Shearer now down to 14th place as Samet Ozkan. Man, he has been not having a good going here. He is running in 35th. Behind Andrew Rich now, who is also not having a good day. You see Lucas Catano and Zach Carrington have both lost draft. And Jesse Turner, he is 4 laps down. Just taking a quick look at the pit road. But Fitzwater now your race leader. Logan York on the overcut. Going to have to bide his time just a little bit more, but that 95 has looked fast. 7th fastest on the board with a 1:12.840. Fastest on the board is Priya McShane with a 1:12.643. We'll have to just wait and see as the run goes on if York can get back up to the lead and lead the field around here once again. Logan York still trying to push his way forward back into the top 5. As him and Nate Rogers have both moved past RJ Bishop. Now they are fighting for that 5th place position. Closing in on what will be the 3rd round of pit stops here. Nate Rogers on the inside of William Brock. As Nate's going to move up the track here. Someone is pitting, and it's going to be the 34 in Nareza once again. William Brock coming in. Richard Johnson coming in. Derek Hamill's going to pit. So Nareza made this undercut first by himself. Then William Brock and Lucas Catano joined him. Now Richard Johnson joining on this 3rd time. And I think they've seen that you will mostly just gain positions here, and you don't really lose a ton of positions due to the draft and the nature of the racetrack. Really hard to pass even with fresher tires, so Nareza continues to run with this strategy. And he has not gotten the lead quite yet, but we've seen him and William Brock get close. We've seen Richard Johnson lead today as well. Laura Chung coming in, Rob Evans, Quinton Moore, Keith Rich, all down pit road. Lucas Catano once again. As no one is going to make this thing on a 3-stopper, so it looks like everyone's committed to the 4-stop strategy. We'll likely see a ton of people pit coming from, after this particular cycle, we'll likely see everyone finish their pit stops from 35 to 38, I'd say. It's Fitzwater, Nate Rogers going to come in here. York, Flickinger, McShane, Kev Shearer all stay out. Dylan Young looking to maybe gain some positions here. He's going to get to break heavily into pit road. Turner, who's 4 laps down. Oh, Kate Anderson ran into Colin Cropley. That was a matter of time. Someone was going to run over somebody. One of these pits. The accordion tends to do that. And it looks like they'll try and fix the damage on the 77. Dylan Young already out and away. As Carrington will pit. William Brock, the provisional leader over NRSL, and Richard Johnson. It's Logan York on the overcut once again. Zach Flickinger here with him. Remember, Flickinger won this race a year ago. Kev Shearer, I think it looks like he's going to continue to stay out. He'll go to lap 29 as York, Flickinger, and McShane come in. Christian Vargas will bring in the rest of the leaders. Ace Rogers in this group, top 10 in the points. Ooh, Logan Williams, a little swipe there on Vargas, going towards his stall. Not sure if there was anything to it or if he was just turning in, but Brock and NRSL, man, they've got a pretty good gap here over the 9 of Nate Rogers and the 59 of Fitzwater. So, man, Brock and NRSL, the strategy today might have been to undercut after all, as these two are in each other's drafts, and they are currently gone. This happened on one of the pit cycle groups. Chris Harvey's going to get shunted here by Henry Sanford. Pass as pit stall, tries to back it up, but stalls the car. And now, oh, and then he got hit by Ferranti for good measure. So Harvey going to be on an extended pit stop here as they try and get that car refired. Well, the trend might end up continuing after all, as Enzo NRSL, William Brock have a 3-second gap over third place Nate Rogers. Brock, a veteran of the series, but has never visited Victory Lane. NRSL, veteran of the Jerky Pro Truck Series, been down there for a couple years now. First year attempting some Digital Storm Cup races. And NRSL currently is not top 42 in the points. Not sure if NRSL will elect to stay in Jerky Pro full-time next year with the current rules. But currently in a very good spot here, and it would be Front Row Motorsports' second win in 3 races. That would be quite something because they have not won in a long time. Last won the 2021 Daytona 500 with Osmain Hamid before the win at Richmond with Trey Smith. And then the year before that, they won a ton of races under the Ford umbrella. And then 2021 was the year they switched to Dodge and they got the Bang Energy sponsorship. And it's been quite a good year here at the end of the year for Trey Smith. And now NRSL in the lead as well. But these other leaders are closing the gap. They do have a lot more draft, train, energy, momentum going on than the top two. Nate Rogers sits in third, though, right ahead of Zoerlein. He's going to be trying to get some points on Zoerlein because with Oskin's terrible day, Zoerlein is now the one you want to be ahead of as far as the championship battle goes. Charles Sanford has also moved his way up through the running order. He's up to 5th now. Going to force the issue here through turn 6 to get under Zoerlein. Fitzwater in 6th, Zach Flickinger 7th, Bishop, York, and Christian Vargas. That is the current top 10. Richard Johnson, I believe, just fell to 11th. Yep, indeed. Dylan Young up here in 12th. Kev Shearer down to 17th. The overcut has not paid out for Kev Shearer since he's been staying out on his own. Ace Rogers 20th, Trey Smith 19th. How about Rob Evans has been making a slow climb during the race. He's up to 21st. Oh, Seth Cole's got a ton of front-end damage from something. What happened to Seth? Take a quick look at whatever the heck caused that. But Andrew Rich's day continues to be bad. Same with Samet Ozkan, as Harvey is now finally getting his pit stop underway. This was back on the last pit cycle, lap 28. Riggs tries to come out of pit road as Ozkan is pitting, and that turns the 27 around, and then Seth Cole tries to stop but slams into the 27. Colt Hudson barely missing the 27. And that is where Seth Cole got all his damage, and he has been staying out with it. They will likely fix it here on their final pit stop. Enzo Nareza and William Brock have been caught by the pack that has been chasing them down. Charles Sanford's the first one to him in third. And the tire difference is apparent as Charles is going to take second from Brock. Now looking for the lead from Nareza. Nate Rogers up here as well as Logan York and Zoerlein and more. How about Christian Vargas? Looking for a really good run here to shake up that battle. Now remember, Hudson, after his Martinsville win, took 30th in the points. Well, 31st in the points, as they've still got a pass redacted in the standings. But Hudson's immediate competitors of Yepes, Baranauskas, and Deaver did not make the race. So Hudson is likely going to retain top 30 for a good bit, as they're 3 wide behind them trying to figure out. Nareza's got his hand out the window. Brock gonna pit with him once again. They are the only 2 from the lead group as Johnson and Hamill come in from behind. Nico Tringali's going to pit. Rob Evans, Quentin Moore, Seth Cole coming in. Likely going to be fixing that damage. Looks like Henry Sanford got damage from a pit road incident. Oh, actually, no. There's been something happened. Oh, it looks like Zach Flickinger and Priya McShane, they already pit. Something happened to Zach Carrington. This is heavy damage. Zach Flickinger had just pit. And he's got a huge run on Laura Chung. Sends it in. Chung doesn't know he's coming. Gets turned. And then Zach Carrington had nowhere to go. Clobbers the 20. Carrington's race, I mean, he was just minding his own business pretty much the whole race. This day is over. So that just happened. And now we're going to have to see who pits this next time by. Nate Rogers will pit. Vargas stays out. Logan Williams stays out. Roy Ribbleton's going to just get around Zach Carrington. What about Ace Rogers? Oh, Ace is going to give Carrington the lane. Carrington's got one of these first stalls anyway, and yeah, they're done. Dylan Young in, Lane Sanders in, Colin Cropley coming in, Cade Anderson. Now looks like Cade Anderson has front-end damage. Something else happened? No, I'm not seeing any other smoke. Here's Brock and Nareza. They are actually, I think they are going to be racing Zach Flickinger for the lead. He pit before they did. So Vargas stays out. And Logan York is right in front of Nate Rogers and Dylan Young coming out of pit road now. Dylan Young's got damage from pit road contact. That screams someone hit him in the right rear. These drivers are all going to be chasing Nareza, Brock, and Zach Flickinger. Oh, it looks like the damage came... I think RJ Bishop might have been the one that hit Dylan Young. It looks like he's got the damage. And oh man, these guys are racing crazy right here. Crazy, 3 wide. A lot of other drivers coming to pit road now. Oh, and Hamill's going to wreck Logan York. Hard into the outside wall. RJ Bishop gets a piece of it. And York is going to get stuck on the embankment. Bishop involved. And Derek Hamill just straight up wrecked him. Oh, more contact. Someone else just hit the 21. Who was that? Was that Brahmer? I think it was Ryan Brahmer. Oh, man. Bishop is going to stay out. And York indeed got towed as the fight is on now for the race lead. But before we get to that, let's take another look at what just happened. We'll start this at Dylan Young coming out of his stall. It's going to be Cade Anderson that he just pulls out right in front of. No regard for their safety. So then you got Bishop. He's going to come out. Nate Rogers going to come out. Then you see York pulls out. Fitzwater, Zoerlein as well. And then Nate Rogers just kind of waits in line. He could have passed York right here, but he chose not to due to the tight nature of the track and that they were racing side by side already. These two were side by side. He didn't want to force it. Now here comes Hamill. Hamill's been out here a lap. His tires are warmed up. So you see as they go down the hill here into turn 4, he already has a great corner. See, McShane puts him in a dangerous position here, 3 wide. And then Hamill. They are looking like they're going to try to go 3 wide, but Logan York did not know that. He turned down as if I think they were going to be 2 wide, and Hamill didn't turn yet because he had Nate to his left, and that wrecked Logan York. That's tough because, I mean, what a great race York was having. And then insult to injury, he just gets swiped by RJ Bishop. Well, I guess you could say Bishop got swiped by him because York's car was the one sliding down the track. So that spun out RJ. He gets back going. 2 really good runs ruined here, by the way. York and RJ both. And then, Ryan Brommer just slammed into him. I think RJ was trying to pull up for the lane, and then at the last second he went to pull away, but Brommer was already turning left as if he was going to get blocked. And that worsened RJ's damage and gave Brommer some damage, I think. So, what an incident. 5 laps to go here at Papyrus Motorsports Park. The top 3, Nereza, Brock, Zach Flickinger. Flickinger pit a lap before these two, so he is at a tire disadvantage, but Flickinger doing what he needs to do to get a good finish. Logan Williams up to 4th place. Hamill, Vargas fighting for 5th. Priya McShane in 7th. Nate Rogers, Dylan Young with the damage, and Fitzwater is the top 10. 41, 99, 32, 42, 34 are all go or go home cars. Looking for a really good day to maybe give themselves a chance at maybe jumping into the top 30 if they can qualify into Homestead and maybe potentially Pensacola. 4 laps to go. The focus turns to the battle for the win. Enzo Nereza, William Brock. Nereza has won before. He got a Jerky Pro win at Daytona. That has been it so far for his career. And in his first season of Digital Storm, he's missed a lot of races, but is looking at what could be his first career win. He's just got to hold off veteran William Brock to do it. As right now with the extra car draft of Zach Flickinger, it does not look like these other drivers will be able to catch. Logan Williams, Christian Vargas, Derek Hamill, all veterans who have been mired and go home the last season or two. Looking for what would be their first career win. As in terms of the championship, Nate Rogers, he's racing Jonathan Zoerlein, who sits in 11th. Same with Dylan Young. They're racing. Both of them are racing. Young needs Zoerlein to kind of fall here a little bit. Both of these two are going to get by McShane, though. As Samet Ozkan, he's had a miserable day. 37th place right now. So we see Seth Cole 30th, Andrew Rich 28th. Rob Evans 22nd, Ace Rogers 19th, Kev Shears 16th. Some other immediate championship contenders as Zoerlein just jumped into the top 10. Nate and Dylan Young, they are eyeing these 3 right up the road. 4th and 5th potentially on the table. Maybe even 3rd if Zach Flickinger loses the draft here this time by. As Nereza and William Brock looking like they will settle this out amongst themselves for the race win. So Nate Rogers would be in a really good spot here. He's 42 behind Zoerlein coming into the race, looking to gain as many points as he can with Homestead up next. And then, of course, Pensacola will be a true decider. McShane will end up with the fastest lap on the race. Looking for a great finish as well. She has now fallen to 9th. 2 laps to go here at Papyrus Motorsports Park. Can William Brock get by NRSL? He's closing up. Zach Flickinger has lost time now. He's a second behind these two, about to lose draft. Meanwhile, Logan Williams, Christian Vargas, now Chris Harvey out here, who's several laps down. With Derek Hamill, Nate Rogers, Dylan Young, they are all in a draft train trying to catch the top 3. NRSL pulling away from Brock there through turn number 4. So you see Logan Williams start to set his sights on Zach Flickinger. Williams could be looking for a top 3 finish. So you see them all come here down this straightaway. Oh, Zach Flickinger has indeed fallen back to those drivers. White flag will be in the air. Can Enzo NRSL bring Dodge back to victory lane at Papyrus Motorsports Park for the first time since 2018? Or will William Brock bring Toyota and himself to victory lane for the first time? Brock needs to get some really good corners here to get the momentum rolling, get a good run on the 34. But he's running out of time. Into turn 4 they go. Behind them, Logan Williams has gotten by for 3rd. He is hauling the mail right now. Look at Logan Williams. He is closing up big time on the top 2. But he's going to be out of time. If Williams had one more lap, maybe 2, he probably would have been able to get by these 2. But then again, I don't know if these 2 would have made it if there were 2 more laps. But coming off of turn 6, 4 races in a row, we're going to have a first-time winner. And this time it's the rookie, Enzo NRSL. The 9 William Brock, his first career win. And what'll go down as William Brock's 21st career top 5 finish. That is not a victory. Williams got really close. He was really closing the distance there at the end. If he had had some more draft help, he might have won this race. Zach Flickinger will come home 4th. Vargas barely misses out on that position. He finishes 5th. Hamill 6th, barely holding off Nate Rogers. Dylan Young 8th. Charles Sanford 9th. Fitzwater 10th. Zoerlein falls out of the top 10. Kev Shearer 11th. Zoerlein in 12th. McShane, she fell to 13th. Some notables: Richard Johnson 14th. Colt Hudson backs up the win after Martinsville with a 15th place run. Trey Smith 17th, Nico Tringali 19th, Ace Rogers 20th, Rob Evans 22nd, Seth Cole 27th, Andrew Rich 28th. Samet Ozkan, points leader, coming in 34th, no longer. That'll be handed back to Jonathan Zoerlein. Flat tire for Jesse Turner, tough luck there. Chris Harvey with the incident on pit road, and then Logan York, Laura Chung, and Zach Carrington with the accidents on track today. As I just heard, Richard Johnson blew the motor right after the start-finish line. So that is why he sits on pit road. But for the fourth race in a row, we got a first-time winner, and today it was Enzo Nareza. 3 races remain in the Cup Series Championship: Homestead, Pensacola, and Atlanta. So Jerky Pro will be off next week, and I'll see y'all for Homestead. Peace out.